Cardinals didn't play at all this week. We had a no-no broken up by the pitcher's teammate. The bench is cleared in the baseball game. Gerrit Cole fingers stick to his hat. A wild week of baseball that we've had, and stuff that we're going to talk about are those right there. Plus, also, the Kansas City Royals on a 4-game winning streak. Impressive. We'll get into more of that a little bit later on in the winning streaks. But yeah, we're going to talk about all of that here on Back Pick, as I'm Kramer Sansone. If you haven't done so, like the video, subscribe. Enter into the giveaway in the description down below. Let's just get on into it. The Cardinals not playing right now has a huge impact, I think has a huge impact in Major League Baseball in general, because they've only played 5 games right now. 5 games. There's some teams that are getting close to their 20th game this season. All right, there shows. I mean, we saw with the Miami Marlins that they had their little outbreak in their team, and then they came back and they won. They won a lot of games. They won games in a row. They're actually second in the NL East because of percentage points. Cardinals have only played 5 games. I don't know, since the last time they played was against the Minnesota Twins 2 weeks ago. There might be a chance of them, if their series coming up against the Pittsburgh Pirates is already canceled. That's not good. That shows you right there. There might be 2 weeks of them being laid off, and they're just in a hotel room right now. It's not pleasant for them. We saw last week that Jack Flaherty's throwing a bullpen session in his bedroom. He puts up the bed and he throws into it. That's what they're doing right now. We saw Adam Wainwright having some fun right there with the golfing wise. All I know is right now it has a huge impact going down the line, because at some point the Cardinals have to do doubleheader after doubleheader after doubleheader to get all these games back. Are they going to play a full 60 games? I think they will, but it will be very long and drawn out, or they'll just have to, no more off days for me, because they've had 2 weeks off, so they do not need any more off days, which honestly may not be a bad thing to have doubleheaders, 7-inning games. Ooh, it's worked out just fine. Why don't they have to do that? I feel like at some point they will, because they have to get every single NL team on the same path and on the right trajectory at the end of the season. Every single game has to be ended before October, I feel like, in order to get this going. And that's if there's another wave of this stuff. That's the scary part, because we do not know. And a lot of things have been canceling in other sports leagues, like, say, not sports leagues, but say the college football. Things have been pulling out. Teams have been saying reassessing stuff. That's football compared to baseball. We're already going right now with baseball. It's not looking good, though. It's really not. And there's no way they can make up all of these games, but they need to. They have to. There's all these games that need to be played out, because say they play 15 less games. I mean, granted, that's only going to be 45 games for them this season, but that's just not good. You got to play the entirety, because who knows what could have that drawn out. If you don't go by percentage points, the NL Central could be up in grabs right now. We'll get into more on that a little bit later about who's the top 2 teams there, but there it is, up for grabs. Granted, the Cubs are in first place. They're 10-3. The Cardinals, man, they have not played since last Thursday. That's 2 Thursdays ago. 2. What is going like this? There's a lot of implications are going to have to be drawn out. There's going to have to be a lot of rules. There's going to be some teams that their schedules are all going to be wonky, but they got to play it at some point. Heck, they had to cancel the Field of Dreams game earlier this week. That was against the Cardinals and the White Sox. That was supposed to be coming up within the weeks. That's the sad part. 'Cause actually, I was looking forward to that game. I was. So with them not being able to play, draws a big halt on some, not if all, of the Major League Baseball games that's happening in the NL. The AL right now seems like they're just fine. They've been coasting all the way through. Heck, we thought the biggest storyline in the AL was the Blue Jays trying to find a home, and they figured that out. Haven't played the home game first yet, but they still have yet to. There's no COVID positive test. But we've seen it with the Marlins. We've seen it hit hard at the Cardinals. I thought the Cardinals one was just going to be a go through, be done, boom, where they have their baseball games over the weekend against the Cubs. Nope, didn't happen. Didn't happen at all. There's just a lot of impact and stake. And there's I didn't even notice this, but Yadier Molina's got tested positive. Paul DeJong was tested positive. Those are 2 big key factors on the St. Louis Cardinals that tested positive for COVID-19. It's not good. It's not good. How dumb is Hunter Pence right now? Hunter Pence probably is not feeling too great because he blew the no-hitter for Johnny Cueto earlier this week against the Dodgers. I mean, I got video pulling it right here. I also did a breakdown. Also, I do breakdowns as well of Major League Baseball games. More like not like a breakdown, because I know that some other medias inside YouTube that do baseball videos have their breakdowns. But I mean, I kind of give my reflections, my outtake, what's going through my mind during this. So yeah, that's I do that. So here's the Hunter Pence thing. This sucks for Johnny Cueto. If I'm that pitcher, I do not like my outfitters because they're there to help you out. That's why they're on your team. They're there. You're there to pitch. They're there to field to help back you up. And Hunter Pence just lost us in the sky, the lights. I don't even know. But it's something that's just not. That's how you lose some respect from your teammates. And Johnny Cueto probably wasn't too happy. I mean, granted, he ended up giving up some runs. But the fact he had a no-hitter into the 5 2/3, I believe he had, unless it was through 6th already, man, that sucks. It's a sour taste in your mouth, knowing that you can go at least 3 more innings and get this thing bad boy done. Hunter Pence, you've got to be feeling very dumb right now. You know what feeling very dumb is, and we're going to, I know for next week I will talk about this and all of the implications of how many games or how long the suspensions will be between Ramon Laureano and the Athletics or anybody in the Astros, but benches cleared in the Athletics and Astros game. It's kind of went back to Friday night when Castianolos, a young Astros pitcher, hit Ramon Laureano on the 12th. That happened. Today he hit Ramon Laureano again in the back. I don't know if it's like some type of beef they have in between each other, but of course he pointed at him, walked to first base, and there was chirping in the Astros dugout to Ramon Laureano, and then things escalated. Things escalated a lot to where the benches were cleared and everybody was fighting. Well, it wasn't like fighting, but Dustin Garneau jumped on Ramon Laureano to get to some other guy that Ramon was trying to chase, and not chase, but go after. It wasn't a good situation, especially around this time. The second time the Astros have been in not like a skirmish or anything, but you already know Bob Melvin's going to be suspended for a game. Maybe Dusty Baker once again. Nothing brand new to Dusty, but I don't know, man. It just seems very odd that a team. So we already know Mike Fiers, the pitcher for the Athletics, kind of was the whistleblower of the entirety of the entire cheating scandal of the World Series. He's on the Athletics, the Astros there. That might have brought a factor, but the fact that Castianolos, a young rookie, I don't even know if he's a rookie, but he's a young pitcher for the Astros, did that to Ramon Laureano. Ramon, of course, didn't like it. Things escalated from dugout to first base, and everybody got on top of everybody. And if somebody had COVID, it spread easily through that. It's just not good. I'm an Athletics fan too. As you can tell, I have the hat right here. There's the Cardinals one as well. There's a Fenway hat, and there's a Kansas City Royals one all the way on the opposite side of there. It's just the bench is cleared, man. It was cool to see. I mean, it's always cool to see something like that. I wish I could actually witness a benches clearing moment at a ballpark, but then again, I don't because of the people that possibly get hurt or anything like that. But man. Gerrit Cole got his finger stuck to his hat because pine tar. And I posted the video. Of course, these 3 things I've already talked about and made a reflection to. Pine tar is something that pitchers use all the time, apparently. If that's what I've been reading in the YouTube comments section. But not this abundant to where you can see the fingers stick from the cap and pop up. I mean, it's a good little cheating aspect if you want to put it there, but I mean, Gerrit Cole, Houston Astro last year, New York Yankee this year, are we going to put that into 2? Maybe. I don't know. It's just not good. It is not good at all. The fact that it's being witnessed on television that this happened, not a good look. Gerrit Cole didn't even get the win because it was a doubleheader, and they went. There's something going on with how many innings you need in a doubleheader game. That's 7 innings to get that quality start to the pitching. I don't know. Gerrit Cole uses pine tar. How many pitchers use pine tar, though? I don't. If you are a pitcher that's trying to get some grip, of course, you can dry your hands off with the rosin, wipe it off in your pants. Pine tar gives you extra grip, gives you more extra spin. I don't think Gerrit Cole, the way he pitches, needs more spin. This guy throws gas. He throws straight shed. He's a guy that is striking you out with a fastball, or even going to break you off with a curveball, or even throw another off-speed pitch that he has. He doesn't need pine tar, and that's the sad part. He's got to have an advantage on the batter. He's got to have the advantage on the batter? Come on now. It's not cool. It's not a good look, and I bet we'll see next time he pitches, I bet we'll see the umpires check him for anything. I wouldn't be surprised if said other team that they play against his next start, they're like, hey, can you check the pitcher in case he has any pine tar? And we saw it on the cap. Remember when Michael Pineda, Yankee, had the pine tar on his neck? That's the bad part. The Yankees and Pine Tar right now is just, it's funny. That's happened the past 5 years. So, yeah. Winning streaks in Major League Baseball right now. Excuse me as I swallow there. 9 games winning streak for the Oakland Athletics. I saw they were on their 8-game winning streak, and I saw that was equivalent to a 22.5 game winning streak because of how the 60 games go. So I can only imagine how would it go to 9. I can only imagine. The Royals right now, the second longest winning streak, currently at 4. I'm actually shocked at the Royals. They are starting to hit the ball well. Their pitching has come around. They're all young, very aggressive at everything. Even we saw that with the batting. The batting is aggressive this year for the Kansas City Royals. Very interesting. Plus, with me working at the 610 Sports Radio to where it's the home of the Kansas City Royals, that's what I like to see. I like to see the teams that I work at able to perform well so they can have that good light in the city of Kansas City. But wow, I think it's impressive. Royals are on top. If they can keep doing this is a team that might shock teams to making the postseason because they can just creep on up. Plus, that they swept the Minnesota Twins, who are the number 1 team in the division. That's even more impressive. And speaking of divisions, before we get into that first, we'll break all the top 2 teams down to see if they'll actually make it that way. MVPs right now. I just want to go to MVP section of the AL and NL right now. There's got to be 2 people, well, just 2 people alone that stand out the most. Well, let's go AL right now. Aaron Judge. This guy is hitting everything out of the park. I saw yesterday so that was Saturday, when he hit a home run, I think it was his 9th. He was on pace to hit 92 home runs in a 162-game season if that was the case. That's a lot of home runs for 162. And the fact that he has 9 already in a 60-game season, what is he going to be at? 29 home runs possibly, which that would be impressive. The fact that if he would get 29 home runs. Plus, he plays at a short side of the walls ballpark, so you got to be more lenient on it with it. But man, Aaron Judge right now is looking amazing. I'm glad he's healthy, because this is when he's healthy, this is what you'll see. I mean, he couldn't really do it much last year with Giancarlo Stanton hurt, so didn't have that security blanket that's around him, even though he's batting second in the order. Aaron Judge is a stud. Now, if you go to the NL, a guy that has been really hot, that I think he's going to keep riding it too, is Nick Castianolos. They do for the Reds. I think he tore up his former team, the Chicago Cubs, which he played for half a season last year. The team that brought him up, the Detroit Tigers, he tore a new one against them, and he's just hitting the ball and seeing it perfectly, and he's finding himself a home in Cincinnati. So those are my 2. That's my AL and that's my NL of MVPs. All right, now let's go to the top teams per division. I know we did this last week as well. We're going to keep on doing it. AL East right now is it's 3 teams right now because 2 teams are tied because of winning percentages. Yankees are 10-6 currently, followed by the Baltimore Orioles 7-7, and Tampa Bay Rays is 8-8. So those 2 are tied. At the end of the season, if the Baltimore Orioles are still second in this division, I will flip. Like, this team, they almost swept the Nationals, which very, very good for them. The fact that you won more games in that series than you lost. That's the way to go. But I see Yankees Rays in the top 2 teams in the AL East. Go to the AL Central. Twins at 10-6, who just got swept by the Royals. Tigers who are 8-5 due to winning percentages because the White Sox and Indians are tied at their 9-6 record, and they're playing Sunday Night Baseball. Tigers will not go in there. I won't be surprised if, say, the Royals keep going hot, they can squeak by in. But the Tigers will not make the postseason at all. This is just a fluke, winning percentages. They were supposed to play the Cardinals, and they had to not play games. Of course, they probably would have played the Cardinals. They probably would have lost. I'm not saying that because of homerism, but just the fact of how the Tigers are. And they beat the Pirates. Don't get me wrong. They outsurged the Pirates. Go to the AL West. The Athletics, who are red hot, 9-game winning streak, 12-4 in the AL West. The Rangers are 6-8. That's number 2 team. It's funny to think that the Astros aren't in there because the Astros aren't doing the greatest. Bregman having somewhat of a down season so far. Altuve is horrendous right now batting. So good for at the West. The NL East, the Braves are 11-6. The Miami Marlins are 7-3 due to their winning percentages. But the way the Miami Marlins came back from their COVID thing and started hitting the ball well, I wouldn't be shocked if they squeak on in there and make them a little spot into the postseason. Would not be surprised. The NL Central comprises of the Chicago Cubs, who are 10-3, the Milwaukee Brewers at 6-7 currently. Cardinals are in third right now at a 2-3 record, and that's just because percentage-wise. There's no way. I mean, I can see the Cubs and Brewers being the final two teams. I really can if the Cardinals can't play fully all their games. But if they do not play all their games and they win most of them, winning percentages is going to put them in the top two. That's another big reason why you really can't go winning percentages if they can't play a full 60 games. I don't know. It's bad for me to say it because I don't want it to happen. But you might as well kick the St. Louis Cardinals out of the entirety of Major League Baseball this year. It's an asterisk season for another thing as well. So it wasn't like it's going to take away or anything away from it or taking anything a lot away from it. So it's just up in the air in general. The NL West, this one's going to be a fun division. I think it's going to be one of the toughest divisions for teams to beat. But right now the top two teams are Rockies 11-4. They're number one. Dodgers are 11-5. I could see these two teams doing it and finishing off this way. I can. That'll do it here for Back Pick. I hope I've enlightened you with some baseball news around and how the divisions are going per how they are. So yeah, like this video, subscribe, and watch some old videos. Why not? Go listen to old podcasts, because why not if you're not free? Like the video. Have a good one.